Yo, what's up with y'all, man? I hope you're doing good. If you're new and you're a fan of the NBA, subscribe to this channel. So let's get straight into it.
Money longer, shut out bros and keep my eyes in the sky, cause that's where I'm moving. Say they wanna read my mind.
Actually, right before we get into today's vibe, I have to introduce you to today's sponsor, Hardwood Amino. Now look, if you have been with me since literally the start, which a few of you have, you know that me and this app right here go way back. We got history. Without this app, this channel wouldn't be as big as it is today, probably. Hardwood Amino is an app that allows all of us basketball addicts to converse, share ideas, and beliefs all in one place. I met so many people that I actually call my friends and longtime supporters on this app right here. This is the ultimate basketball fan app. It was built for people like me and you because there are so many different ways where we can interact with each other. We can make polls, blogs, public chat rooms, and even take exciting NBA quizzes just to test out your NBA knowledge. That right there may be my favorite feature if I'm being real. This app right here is a must-have. It has just about everything you need to survive these NBA streets. So for all of you guys, especially y'all with NBA channels, I'm talking to you, Reliable Rants, I'm talking to you, Arion Christopher, I'm talking to you, Swish, I'm talking to every single person watching this video right now. Download this app here right now. I'm gonna leave links in the description and also in the comment section. Trust me, it's tons of fun and you'll learn so much more than you do right now. Oh, and also I'm going to be doing a Q&A, you know, just so you guys can get to know me a little bit more this entire weekend. To participate in this Q&A and to just ask me questions about anything you want to know about me, download this app on the Play Store. It's free for iOS and Android. And if you're too lazy to go to the Play Store, just click the links. And also follow me on there as well. Thank you, Hardwood Amino, for not only sponsoring this video, but thank you for existing. Now, let's move on to today's vibe.
People just talk about the Lakers as if they are the front runner for Anthony Davis.
But once they get past the trade deadline, and we get into the offseason, Boston becomes part of this conversation. There are no trades on the horizon for this team right now.
On January 28th, 2019, as we all know, the New Orleans Pelicans finally met their inevitable fate. After days, months, and years of rumors, Anthony Davis requested a trade. And pretty much since that day, the entire internet world has been on fire, because that pretty much meant that one of these two rivals right here had a chance to get a top 5 player in the league, and either of them have the potential to roll the dice. During all of this madness, everyone, just about everyone, including myself, were focused on the Los Angeles Lakers, and for good reason too. And nobody really paid too much attention to the Boston Celtics. The Celtics of this year are one of the most uniquely rebuilt teams that we've ever seen. During this entire process, there was a lot of experimenting done. They went from picking up low-profile, low-risk players who weren't expected to be anything special, they were really expected to be nothing, and turned nothing into something. And they turned that something into something serious. After all this packing, picking, flipping, and shipping of players, this was the result that Danny Ainge received. Now, just for that, he has earned every single ounce of respect from me, and I personally view him as the best GM in the NBA. He's done as good of a job as possible and got great talent while collecting more assets at the same time. This has to be up there with one of the greatest rebuilds and turnarounds of all time. Right? Right? Okay, not yet? No, actually, not just yet. Because the job isn't finished. This team is still under construction, and they soon could possibly be under heavy construction due to the lack of molding and dealing these group of players are able to do. Now, in my honest opinion, I think the Celtics have the second most talented roster in the entire NBA. If they're not the second most talented team in the league, then they're at worst top 5 by anyone's standard. But yet, they actually struggle to play like a top 5 team in the league. The lack of chemistry is what's fueling their struggle. I guess some could say that the Celtics do have too much talent. The Golden State Warriors have so much damn talent on that team. The most talented starting 5 that we've ever seen. And just like the Celtics, you could say that they have too much talent as well. But they use every ounce of what they got in place so efficiently and effectively. And more important than all of that, unselfishly. A handful of players on that roster are going through a multitude of things right now. Jaylen Brown is looking to establish himself as one of the best young players in the league. Terry Rozier is going to be a free agent this summer and is playing for a well-paid contract right now, or is at least trying to. And Gordon Hayward is just trying to be Gordon Hayward from the past, or at least something near that. There's so much going on, but so little time. And because of that, the Seas are still building and could go through slight reconstruction this summer. But there are many variables pertaining to what will happen for them by then. By Anthony Davis requesting a trade this early, as all of us are knowledgeable by now, we know that they're excluded, restrained, and are basically locked into handcuffs. They are not allowed to throw up an offer for AD unless they wanted to throw in Kyrie Irving. And doing that would be idiotic for one, and also it would defeat the entire purpose of trading for AD. Oh, and Kyrie leaving is a whole other issue, but we'll get into that in just a few. So all they can do is just sit back, watch, and listen from the sidelines, just like the rest of us, while the media, us fans, and their arch nemesis entertain the possibility of them acquiring AD. Now, worldwide, I think that we all know and are all knowledgeable that out of the handful of NBA teams in the race for Anthony Davis, that the Seas have the most enticing assets to package. They have one of the brightest and promising young stars in the league in Tatum and Brown, and also a plethora of picks. What more could a rebuilding team want? I don't know, there's probably not much more that could be done than that offer. But the only thing that could possibly hinder the Pelicans from trading AD until the summer, so that this whole thing can be valid, is actually AD himself. Today's NBA is completely different from the past. Players these days can't control necessarily where they go with action, but they can with their words. A simple combination of words and letters coming out of Anthony Davis's mouth can flush this entire idea down the pooper. With that being said, I'm sure you heard the rumors. The rumors about AD saying that he wasn't going to re-sign with anyone but the Lakers. Now, hey, I do not know just how credible those sources are.
No, I never gave me or my representation never gave Pelicans, you know, a destination or anything, so I'm not sure where it's coming from.
My rules are that if it didn't come from Shams or Wolves or anyone of that nature, Mark Stein and etc., it ain't real and it ain't true until further notice. Enough said. But then again, the saying does go, actions always speak louder than words. And by AD's actions, requesting for a trade in the middle of the year, he knows that getting traded to Boston isn't possible. Do y'all think he's stupid or something? All this is calculated. Every single move, rumor, and all that you've seen by Anthony Davis and his agent Rich Paul has been calculated and planned out. Now back to my whole actions speak louder than words thing. All that it takes for AD to turn off the Boston Celtics is a quick, I'm not staying long term with anyone else but a certain team, hint hint the Lakers. Now I know that there are rumors out there saying AD won't resign with any team out there but the Lakers. But bro, y'all innocent cells be falling for fake reports. 9 times out of 10, you're getting finessed out of your time and clicks. If you read an article or a tweet or something of that nature from someone who is not top notch in the industry. So anyways, if Anthony Davis himself comes out and says that he does not want to be with the Celtics at all and wouldn't resign with them, then that changes everything. All enthusiasm and hope for trading for Anthony Davis is killed. Danny Ainge is one of the smartest basketball minds out there, period. And I highly doubt that he would offer up his most valuable assets just to swindle AD temporarily from the Lakers. Now almost every 3, 4, 5 hours, there are always new reports out there about Anthony Davis, the Lakers, the Pelicans, the Celtics, and their situation. And that's in the making of this video on January 31st. The Celtics just got great news, relieving news. This is amazing for them.
Boston has sent a message to the Pelicans, be patient, wait for us. We are going to be in this, and we're going to be willing to talk about, essentially everyone on our roster outside of Kyrie Irving.
Now, Danny Ainge or someone from that organization was just in contact with New Orleans and told New Orleans to hold off and be patient when it comes to trading AD and to not move them until the offseason because they plan on offering a monster trade package. But still, even after hearing that good news, we have to keep in mind that it takes nothing but just a few words from AD to turn off the Celtics. AD is working with one of the biggest bosses in the league, Rich Paul, and I'm sure that he and his client AD tactically tactically have a bunch of moves set in place to potentially backfire the Pelicans' plans of keeping him until the offseason. You guys, all types of rumors will be coming at you every single second, left and right. And if I were you, I would not pay attention to any of them unless it came from one of those top-notch, credible dudes. Until Woj, Sams, and etc. announces it first, it's probably not real. Now wait, you can take this however way you want it. I'm just telling you what I see. Anthony Davis and his agent Rich Paul, and also LeBron James too, to be honest, have a strategic plan going on behind the scenes. And Anthony Davis right now is basically the puppet. He can screw it all up by just a yank here or a yank there and a few words there too, to completely turn off the Celtics. And his trade value to them essentially would diminish. Danny Ainge and the rest of their organization will not be willing to give a future star in Jason Tatum and many more assets on top of that just for Anthony Davis to potentially leave. So make sure you watch and pay attention to what comes out of Anthony Davis's mouth these next few days. That man's mouth is a huge variable to this entire thing for the season. Oh, and also I almost forgot to mention Kyrie Irving too. I don't want to dive too deep into him and all the rumors that we've seen about him potentially wanting to join LeBron and all that other stuff, because I honestly don't think that he's going anywhere. That chapter of his career is closed. But hey, those are just my thoughts. For all I know, I could be extremely wrong. This is going to make or break the Celtics. Believe it. This is the end of the video, man. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you share, like, comment, and subscribe. I really do appreciate you for taking the time out of your day to watch me talk about the Celtics and their point of view to this whole thing. But until then, I'll get right with you.
No way, no way. Remember back when I couldn't get a play. No home, I ain't have a place to stay. I got to work, made it serve free the way. Told my girl who'd ever thought.